My name is McFarlane, and today I'm going to be taking you through a strength and conditioning program. So first of all, we're going to start with a warm-up, and the warm-up we're aiming here to elevate our heart rate, get our warmed up, get our muscles loosened off. So we're going to start off with a general warm-up, just to raise our heart rate, loosen us off a bit, and then we're going to move from that into some dynamic stretching to loosen us off and get us prepared for the strength and conditioning exercises we're going to be doing. So, start the warm-up, we're going to do 3 minutes on the treadmill. So the treadmill can actually keep your time, or you can have a stopwatch of your own like I do, and just start it for 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click it on. If it works. There we go. Okay. So we don't want to be going too fast here. We want to set it at the right pace so we're at a gentle jog. Okay? That's 1 minute. Halfway there now. Okay, so that's me done my 3 minute jog on the treadmill. From there, that's kind of focusing more on the lower body. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to move to the elliptical machine and do 2 minutes on there, because that involves your arms as well and gets them warmed up. Okay, it's a bit elevated now and we're a bit more warmed up. So we're going to do 2 minutes in the elliptical machine. Here I just really want to focus about moving the arms as well, because our legs will be feeling warm, but our arms need to get some blood moving there as well. Okay, so just say at a comfortable pace, nothing too hard. We just want to be raising our heart rate. We don't really want to be getting extremely out of breath. Okay, so I'm going to hit quick start, and go for 2 minutes here. And you can change your height up and down, or you can also change your resistance to set it to the most comfortable speed for you. Okay, so that's a minute gone now. We've got 1 more minute going. Okay, so that's just done 2 minutes on there as well, so that's just finished our general. Now we're going to loosen off our bodies. We're going to start with some arm swings. So we're going to go left arm back 10 times, 4, 5. Really trying to get that full range of motion and reaching up at the top. Then once we've done that, switch to the other arm, bringing that elbow right past the ear and round. Okay, now we're going to go forwards. Same again, reaching up and round. And then right arm. Okay, next we're going to go on to leg swings. So you need to find something you can swing against. So I've got this pillar here. I'm going to be using it, holding on to stabilize, and I'm going to be swinging my leg. But what we're looking for here, we don't want us to be leaning over. We want the upper body to remain upright as we swing. So 10 each leg, here, 4. Trying to just keep level at the hip and staying upright. And then we turn and do 10 in the left leg. So in that exercise, you're feeling a bit of a stretch in the hamstring to loosen it off. And then we're going to do leg swings again, but this time facing it, and we have let our leg sweep across us. So we're going to do 10 each side again. So right leg and 10 in the left. Okay, we're going to loosen off our hamstrings a bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to lie on the ground here, and we're going to get into a hamstring stretch like this. One leg tucked in at the knee, the other leg straight, and we're going to reach, and we're going to roll back, and we're going to move into the other side. And we're going to do that 10 times. So roll, reach, not going too far, but just so you can get a bit of stretch. One more, and that's 10 there. Okay. Next warm-up exercise we've been doing is just some dynamic lunges. So just from here, I want you to stay upright, don't bend at the hips, and just down into a lunge and back up. And we're going to do 5 each side forwards, 5 each side backwards. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we go backwards, same again, just reach back. 1, back up, starting position. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch legs. Okay, perfect. The next one we're doing is another hamstring stretch. We're going to lie down on the ground, flat like this, and we're just going to let this one leg come up, keeping it straight, keeping the foot dorsiflexed, and you should feel a pull in your hamstring. So we're going to do 10 each leg here. Okay, switch. Just go to where you feel the pull, don't go past it, don't push. And okay. So that bit concludes our warm-up exercise. What we're actually doing now, we're going to move into the actual strength and conditioning part of the video. Okay, so you should be warmed up, you should feel loosened off, and you should feel not out of breath, but more ready to go, more invigorated. So our next modality is going to be resistance exercises with a barbell. I don't have a barbell, but we'll be using this broom here to demonstrate and use it as a barbell. The upper body exercise we're going to be doing is going to be the bench press. What we want here is we want an overhand pronated position. For all these, for the first set, I want shoulder just slightly over shoulder width apart, the calming regular grip. And ideally you want to know, it's ideal to have a spotter for this exercise, just because it is moving weight above your face, just in case something goes wrong. So what we want is you want the five contact position, left foot, right foot, lower back, head on the bench, both your shoulders on the bench. So I keep my feet firmly planted in the ground, hands just over shoulder width apart, and just coming down to the chest, and then back up. Okay, so our first set, we're going to have 12 repetitions. So, down there, and up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. Okay, 2 more. 11, 12. So that's going to be our first set there. The next set, what we're going to do is we're going to change our grip to a narrow grip. So from before, we had it here, we're going to bring it just about shoulder width apart, maybe even slightly narrower, and this is going to result, we're going to tuck the elbows in more as we bring the bar down and back up. So we're going to do 12 repetitions of that as well. So we're going to get set with our 5-point position, both feet in the ground, head down, shoulders set. Get this narrower position. And down we go. Keeping the elbows slightly tucked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeping our bum on the bench. Our core stable. Halfway to 6. Perfect. And throughout, we want to be communicating with our spotter, letting them know how we're doing. If for some reason we feel like we're going to miss a rep, we need to let them know. And make sure there's going to be a sticking point in the movement. Ideally, you want to breathe out through that sticking point, not in. So that was our second set. Third set variation, we're going to change it, and this time we're going to go back to the common regular grip, but we're going to have a 3-second hold at the bottom. So it's going to be the same, but we'll come down 1, 2, 3, and then back up. Okay? So, get yourself set again. Get your pronated regular grip. And start the exercise. You come down. 1, 2, 3, and back up. And that's 1. We're doing 12 again. That's halfway there, keep going. Good. Nine. 2, 1. 2, 3. Up. Down. 1, 2, 3. Up. And finish. Okay. And what I didn't say at the start, this exercise mainly focuses on your chest. And then there's also a little bit of the triceps in there as well. So the next modality we're going to be working on is resistance exercises with a barbell. Now, I don't actually have a barbell, but this broom I'm going to be using as an example. In an ideal scenario, you want to do this inside the squat rack under supervision of a spotter at all times, so the spotter is able to help you throughout the rep in case you get into any trouble. So the first set we're going to be doing is just going to be a regular black squat. I want to see good range of motion, and I want to see your legs get to a 90-degree position and back up. We want our weight to remain on the back of the heel as we go through the exercise, and I don't want to see any forward leaning. I want quite a good upright position. Feet slightly more than shoulders width apart, and just go down and back up. Okay, so we're going to do 12 repetitions of each set. It depends on the weight and the number of repetitions you're doing. Sometimes you might want to use a belt for this, but because our repetitions are quite high, we should be alright without one. But we still want to make sure we're not putting too much stress on that lower back and we're keeping a nice upright position. So as well, the squat targets the posterior chain, so that's going to be the lower back, the glutes, and the hamstrings as well. So we'll jump into our first set. We're doing 12. You want to inhale, going down, and exhale, going up. So, 1, 2. It helps to do this in front of a mirror as well, because then you're able to see your form as you go, and see you're hitting that 90 degrees. That's halfway, 6. 12. So that will be our first set. It's also important to note, ideally you want some flat shoes when you're squatting. You want something that has too much cushion on it, because then that provides more instability to the ground. Ideally, you want to be having weightlifting shoes, but anything flat like a pair of Vans or Converses work well as well. So if this exercise is too difficult, set 2 is an easier variation, and here we're just doing a half squat. So before, we were going to 90 degrees, Here we're only going to go about to 45 degrees as I'm demonstrating it. So you just want to go down to about here and then back up. And that's just making the range of motion less, so making the whole exercise easier in general. So we're going to do 12 reps of that. Okay, ready? This time we'll face the camera. So we go down and back up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's good. 5, 6. I'll go side angle so you can see position. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, so for our third set variation, this is going to be the hardest variation, and it's going to be going back to the same depth as the first set, but instead we're going to implement a 3-second hold at the bottom. So that 3-second hold is just going to put more strain on that muscle with that static isometric hold before we have to generate the force to come back up again. So again, we're going to do 12 reps of this, keeping nice and controlled at the bottom and just holding. So you want to, it's best to count out loud when you do it. Go down, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Halfway there, come on. Good, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 8. Nice. And there, because you're having that hold, it might be wiser to drop the weight as well, so you don't end up hurting yourself once you get to the 10th, 11th and 12th rep. But that's going to be the lower extremity exercises for the resistance exercises with the barbell. So our next modality is going to be using the medicine ball. For our first exercise for the upper body, we're going to be doing medicine ball slams. It's appropriate to choose the right weight of medicine ball for this, and also the right environment. If you're in a really crowded gym, it's maybe best not to be slamming the ball into the ground. It's also about the movement and technique. It's not about how much noise you can make, how much you can smash it into the ground. So what we want to do, we want to bend over slightly, have our hands in our chest, and just put it down to the ground like that. And we're going to do that 10 times. So we're going to start here, come up, pick it up, pick it up, really slowly off the fingertip. Keeping our back neutral. Nine, 10. So that's going to be our first set. The variation for that is we're going to switch from 2 hands into 1 hand, so we're just isolating that one limb. So here, this one we bring a bit more up the chest, almost like a shot put, and we just push it down into the ground. Collect the ball, we're going to do 5 each arm. Here, looking for a fast movement, using the wrist at the end as well to get that extra push. So, right on now. 5. Okay, so for the last set, the variation, it's going to be same as the first one in the sense that we're using 2 hands, but it's going to be more physically exerting because we're going to do it continuous. So rather than letting the ball bounce, catch it again, and get set, go again, we're just going to catch, and throw. And we're going to do 12 repetitions of that. So we're going to set. and that's going to be your upper body for the medicine ball. Okay, for our medicine ball modality, for our lower extremities, we're going to be doing a wall set hold. So each set we're going to be holding for 30 seconds, but we're going to slightly change each set for that variation. Okay, so ideally you can have a stopwatch for this, time 30 seconds, or if you don't have something like that, you could also be counting in your head, but that's not ideal. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit on the wall, as I'll demonstrate, with your legs at 90 degrees, and I want you to hold the ball at arm's length out in front of you throughout the movement. Okay, so I'll demonstrate. So I've got my wall here, I go to 90 degrees, start my timer, and go. And we're just holding this static hold for the 30 seconds. That's good. And done. So that's 30 seconds in the first rep. Give yourself a breather, and then we'll move into set number 2. So the variation for set 2 is, again, it's going to be a wall set with a medicine ball, but this time when our legs are at 90 degrees, we're going to be moving either side with this. So the wall set, strengthen your legs and your quads holding that position, but then moving this side to side is just getting that bit of stability as well within the core, making it harder to solely focus on the legs. Okay, so give yourself about a minute to catch your breath back, and then move into set 2. So, get position again, start timer, we're just moving either side. If you're on the wall, you're actually wanting to touch the wall with it, back to center. And we just keep doing this throughout the movement. That's good. Making sure we're breathing. Okay, once we got our breath back, we're going to be going into our last set. This is going to be the easiest set if you're finding the wall set's a bit hard. This time we're only going to go about half depth, so we're not going to that full 90 degrees, but we're still doing it for 30 seconds. Alright, so instead of 90, we're just going to about 45 and holding there. Start your timer. Arms out, arms length. And that's time there. So that's going to be 3 different variations for the wall sit for your medicine ball lower body exercises. What we're doing is resistance exercises with dumbbells. So for the upper body, what we're going to do is we're going to do some shoulder press with dumbbells. So what you do is you find the appropriate dumbbell weight in which you choose to use, and you sit down on the bench. The bench is fairly upright, not quite to 90 degrees, but close. And you sit, and you put your arms here, and you do just press both your arms above your head, like so. Okay, and we're looking to do 12 repetitions of each set. Okay, so I want them to be controlled, straight up, and back down to the dumbbells parallel the shoulders. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking to exhale as we push. Keeping our feet firmly planted on the ground. 9, nearly there. 10, 11, 12. So that's going to be our set 1. Now, the variation for that is we can move it on to single arm. And there we're just focusing, you're able to focus on just that one arm, you focus on just that one arm range of motion, and you don't need to think about 2. So again, we're going to do 12 reps, but 12 on each side of the arm. So sometimes it can be nice, put your arm here, it feels like you're stabilizing yourself a little bit. So we do 10, down to shoulder, pushing up, 5, good. Now we switch to the other arm. Ready? Go. And here you're able to tell which arm's maybe a little bit weaker. I can feel here that my right arm isn't quite as strong and stable as my left. So I'm really having to focus on controlling the movement. 10, 2 more. Okay. And then if these exercises are too hard, what we can do is we can also reduce the range of motion. So rather than bringing it down to here, we can just do half and to here. And that's not causing you to need to use as much of your shoulder. So both up, push them up, and we just go from there to there. Just a half press. 12 again. 6. Okay, and there we have it. That's the shoulder press with dumbbells. Okay, so the lower body exercise we're going to be doing with the dumbbells is the Bulgarian split squat. So what we do here is we have a dumbbell in either hand, and we place one foot on the bench, and we're looking to squat down to get our knee close to the floor and back up. What we're looking for here is we don't want to be bending over or leaning backwards too much to do this exercise. We want to try and keep our upper body in a straight vertical position as we go down and back up. Okay? And we're going to do 10 reps on each leg. So, got my dumbbells, foot on the bench, remaining upright, and go down like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's good. Now we're going to switch legs, same the other leg. This is very good in working your ankle mobility as well and your strength. And it's working your hamstring as you move down. Okay, set myself and go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you should really feel a push in your hamstring as you're doing it. Okay, so the variation on that is if that's getting too difficult, we can do the same movement, but we just don't go as deep. So we just go about half depth, but again we're doing 10 reps on each side. Okay, so we come here, and we only go to there, and back up. 2, 3, making sure we breathe throughout the movement. 6, 9, 10. And that less range of motion should just mean there's less force you're having to use. Okay? Then we're going to switch it to whatever leg we didn't just do. The lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay. So the last variation we're going to do is we're going to move the camera so you can see. It's still a Bulgarian split squat, but this time we're not going to put our foot up on the bench. Instead, we're going to have our dumbbells here, our foot's just going to be back on the ground, and we just lunge down like that. So 10 in each leg. 3. Remaining upright throughout doing it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, switch the other leg. Seven, that's good. And 10. So the next modality we've been doing is going to be bodyweight calisthenics. For the upper body, I've chosen to do some pull-ups. So the pull-ups are going to work your back, your latissimus dorsi, your trapezius. It's going to work a bit of the biceps as well. So a really great exercise. So we're going to do 8 repetitions for each set, and here we're looking at controlled throughout the movement. I don't want jerking up and just dropping down. I want controlled chin up above the bar and then control it on the way back down as well. So I'll demonstrate what we're looking for, 8 reps. Here we can obviously choose a different grip. I'm just kind of wanting just slightly wider than shoulder grip apart, and I'm wanting overhand grip as well, pronated grip. So that's going to be our first set. Second set, to make it a little bit easier, what we can actually do is we can implement a resistance band on our pull-up bar as well. So what we do is we just attach it to the top like so, and we actually put either our knee or foot into the little loop, and that'll give us some added help with these pull-ups. So that's going to be set 2, and we're going to do 8 reps again. So, pull it down a bit, get my knee in there. That's 8 reps. So, for our third set, before we had just slightly shoulder width apart, this time I'm wanting an extra wide grip right at the end here. So that's just going to work on the wider areas of the back with that wider grip. So 8 reps again. And as you can see, personally for me that was the hardest variation with that wider grip. So that's what you find the most challenging. You could also progress it from here. You could do weighted pull-ups as well with a weight belt, or simply just holding a weight in between your feet. But that's going to be the upper body for the bodyweight calisthenics. Okay, so the pull-ups was for the upper body, for bodyweight calisthenics. For the lower body, I'm going to be doing single leg squats. Okay, so we're going to have 3 variations of that. So what we're looking for here is a nice controlled movement. One leg, ideally, we're going to keep straight, and we just squat down on the other leg. Now your range of motion is going to be how much experience you have with this, what your strength levels are. But for here, what we're trying to do in this first set is just get the leg you're squatting on to about 90 degrees. It can be quite a challenging exercise, so we're actually just going to do 6 reps on each leg. Okay, so I'll do it this side. We're going to go left leg first. This leg, we're going to try and remain straight. This, we're going down and up. That's 1. 2. So we have pull-ups as upper body for bodyweight calisthenics. For the lower body, I chose single leg squats. So we're going to have 3 different sets, and we're actually just going to do 6 reps on each leg because it's quite a strenuous activity and it's quite hard. So for the first one, we're going to go just above 90 degrees. One leg we're going to try to keep straight out in front of us, and this leg we're just going to squat down, trying to keep a nice tall posture with the chest. I don't want to see any bending over. Got to try our best to remain on balance as well. So a stable surface is exactly what you need for this. And this is going to be working mainly your hamstrings, a bit of the quad as well as that ankle muscles, and stabilising there. Okay, so we're just going to bend down here. That's there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. We're going to switch. Do the other side as well. 1, 2, 3. You'll put your hands out in front as well to keep that balance. 4, 5, one more. 6. Okay, so that's going to be your set 1. And the next variation what we're going to do is actually do this on an elevated surface. Ideally, you would have a nice flat box which is stable. I don't actually have that, so I'm going to use the bench. But the idea with the elevated surface is you're able to go a bit lower and get more of a range of motion. Okay, so I'm going to pull this bench out. As I say, not ideal, but you would have a much flatter surface to work on. We're going to go up here. We're going to come down and back up, and then we're going to 6 and 8 sets, just like that. So ready? 1, and here I'm just able to get much deeper, more into the range of motion. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we swap to the other side. Again, trying to keep this leg straight. 1, that's good. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So our third variation is going to be, again, it's just going to be a single leg squat, but this time we're going to use something to keep our balance. So this is going to be the easiest variation of the exercise, and that's because it takes away some of the stability you need in your core and your ankles, and it kind of isolates the leg a bit more, and you're solely able to work on keeping that nice form and working on that leg muscles. Okay, so just, it could be anything, a handle or something I've got here, or we're doing 6 repetitions again. So it actually allows you to go a bit deeper as well, but just go to wherever you feel comfortable. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we switch and do the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The good thing about this variation is because you have something to lean on, you're able to keep that weight more in the back of your heel as well. We could progress this further on if you get better by just increasing your range of motion as you go, and you could also add some weights in as well to just increase that load. Okay, so that's going to be the lower body exercise for the bodyweight calisthenics. So the next exercise we're going to be doing is, the modality is going to be kettlebells. I don't actually have kettlebells, so we're going to imagine that these dumbbells are kettlebells. So for the upper body, we're going to be doing kettlebell rows. So here it's similar to barbell rows and other things you might have done. We're going to bend at the hip waist to here, and we're going to have our kettlebells down here, and we're just going to pull them back in this motion. So the first set, we're going to be using both arms, and we're going to do 12 reps. So here we're looking to keep our back straight and get a clean pull from here to the arm at 90 degrees, and then back down. Okay, and this works your back, your triceps, and your biceps, a bit of the core as well as you're having to stabilise yourself. Just find the weight that you think is appropriate, and lean over, and we'll get started with our first set. 12 reps, okay? 2, squeezing at the top, feel your back squeezing together, and back down. Pausing for a second, feel that squeeze. Okay, so for the variation in that, we're simply just going to change it to one arm kettlebell rows. So here, you can place your hand here for some stability, and we're just going to do the exact same, but just so you can focus on the one arm. So 12 reps again, stabilise yourself, and go. Feeling that squeeze at the top. Making sure we're breathing. It's good. 9, 10, 11, 12. Switch the other arm, 12 on the other arm. Get yourself set in a nice position, and go. Good. Now, our third variation, I'll move the camera so you can see, is we're going to do the same again, but this time we're going to be supported on an inclined chair. So that way it takes away us having to lean over ourselves. We can do it in a chair instead, and that means we can have that support. So what we do, set the chair to the right height, and we lean into it. And with our kettlebell rows, we're doing the same, pulling up and squeezing at the top. Good. And that's going to be the upper body exercises with the kettlebells. So the lower body exercise we're going to be doing with the kettlebells is going to be calf raises. So the first set we're going to do is we're just going to be on the floor. We're going to have a kettlebell in each hand, and we're just going to be rolling up onto the balls of our toes, like that. So we're going up and then coming back down. Okay, so this is obviously working on your calves. And here, this is a slightly easier exercise. Your calves are going to be easier, so we're going to do 15 reps of each set. Okay? Come back, up on our toes, and back down. Feeling that squeeze at the top of the range of motion. 5, 8. That's good. One thing to say as well I'm doing this, make sure we're drinking enough water between sets and getting adequate rest as necessary. 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that was our first set. Our next set, our variation is going to be, we're actually going to find an elevated surface such as a box. Here I'm going to be using the pillar there, and this allows us, we're going to do calf raises again, one hand holding on and the other hand holding your kettlebell, and this just increases the range of motion your calves are able to go through. So here we're going to do 2 legs and we're going to do 15 reps. So you can actually drop below . 15. Okay? And then our last one, the hardest variation, is going to be up on the box or an elevated surface again, holding your kettlebell, but we're going to do it single leg this time, and really focusing on the hold at the top. Okay? So we're going to do 15 on the left first, then 15 on the right. So this isn't the ideal surface because I'm kind of struggling to hold on, but on a box you're able to do it against something that you can hold directly in front of you and keep you more balanced. But this is showing you the gist of what we're trying to achieve. So that's 15 on the left, and now we do 15 on the right. Okay. So that there is going to be our lower body kettlebell exercises with the calf raises. So our next modality is going to be Swiss ball exercises. And the upper body exercise we're going to be doing is going to be push-ups using the Swiss ball. So the first set, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have our feet on the ball. We're going to get ourselves into a push-up position, and we're just going to go down and come back up, and we're going to do 10 repetitions. So what we're doing here, we're working similar muscles to the push-up would. We've got the chest, we've got the arms involved, but then we're also going to be engaging the core because we're providing that instability that the Swiss ball provides. So, as I said, we're going to get our feet up on the ball like so. We want our nice press-up position, keeping a level body. We want down and back up. That's 1, 2, 3, keeping your elbows tucked. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's going to be set 1. Set 2 is going to be your easiest variation, and this is going to be having your knees on the ball, like having your knees during the push-up. That just means there's less instability, and your centre of mass is closer to the ball as well. Okay, so we're going to do 10 again, but this time we're going to have our knees up on the ball, and from here we just go down like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So give yourself time to catch your breath, get a breather, get a drink of water, and then when we're ready, you go into your third set. So your third set, this time your feet are going to be on the ground, but your hands are going to be in the ball. We're going to do 10 reps again. This one is probably the most instability, depending how inflated your ball is as well. That adds a bit more degree of difficulty. So, hands either side of the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see, for me that was difficult. It was just really hard. You have to really engage your core. For that one, it's easier if you have your feet slightly further apart as well, just to give yourself a bit more of a stable base as well. So for our lower body on the Swiss ball modality, we're going to be doing hamstring curls. Okay, so our first variation, we're going to be on the ground like this with our ball. We're going to lie on our back and place both our heels into the ball, palms of the hands flat on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift our ball off the ground to a nice straight position. And we're going to bring the heels to the bum and back out. And that's going to be 1 repetition. We're going to do that 10 times. So, ready? 1, 2, really squeezing. 3, 4, keeping that bum up, try not to let it drop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that's going to be set 1, catch your breath. This exercise is great for your hamstrings. It's also great as well because again, the instability the ball provides, we're working all those small proprioceptor muscles to try and keep our balance throughout the exercise as well. So the variation for set number 2 is going to be the easiest one. This time it's kind of just going through the motions of the movement without actually putting too much strain on the hamstrings. So this time we're going to set up again, heels on the ball, palms flat on the ground, but rather than lifting your bum up, I just want to dig your heels into the ball and pull it into your bum, still feeling your hamstrings activate. So we're doing 10 again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be our easiest variation. What I want to make sure you're doing there is it won't do anything unless you really dig your heels into the ball and pull it in and push it back out again. We've got to dig our heels in to activate those hamstring muscles. Okay, so the last variation we're going to be doing is going to be the same as the first one, but this time we're going to add in a longer hold and about a 2-second squeeze at the top of the movement. So again, 10 repetitions. This time, get to that upright position, really squeeze and hold for 2 seconds before going back out. So ready? Up. 1, 2, back. 1, 2, back. 1, 2, back. 1, 2, 1, 2, back. 2, halfway. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And that's that. That's going to be the lower body for the Swiss ball exercise. So that's us done with our strength and conditioning workout for the day. Great job, I love what I see, really put in some great work and made some great progress. So now one of the most important parts of our session is going to be the cool down. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with just a 3.5 minute bike, stationary bike like I've got here. I'm just going to be turning the legs over, just getting them moving again after some of the heavier lifting we've just done. So I'm going to get on and just start my stopwatch. I'm ready to go for 3.5 minutes. Now I want the resistance low in this, I don't want to be going fast, I just want to be turning the legs over as I go. Now it's important to do a proper cool down because if you don't, we're going to leave, our muscles are going to get tighter and sore. It means it's going to more likely injure ourselves. but also we won't be feeling as good for our next workout. So that's 30 seconds gone there, we're going to go for 3 more minutes. Just over a minute. Just taking deep breaths, catch your breath back, relax a little. You can have your water bottle here while you're doing it, drink some water, get plenty of fluids in your system. So that's 2 minutes there, minute and a half more. One more minute. Just turning the legs over. Thirty seconds. And that's 3.5 minutes there. So we're going to hop off the bike, and for here we're going to move in to just some static stretching. Okay, we're moving into just the stretching to finish off the session. So we're going to go through a few different stretching exercises just to work on the muscles we've been using today. So the first one we're going to be doing is just a single leg hamstring stretch. So one leg out like this, other leg tucked in. And we're going to be holding each stretch for 30 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to lean down the straight leg, reaching towards the toes. Okay? So go. And we don't want to be going too far here, but we want to be going to the point where we feel a stretch and then hold it. Halfway. Okay, stretch the other hamstring, the right leg. 30 seconds again. Reaching down that leg, pushing your chest over towards the knee. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is a butterfly stretch. So we put our feet together like this and pull it in. And with our elbows here, we can push our legs down. Okay? So I'll start a timer, 30 seconds on this as well. Okay, that's 30. Our next stretch is going to be stretching our back. So what you want to do is when you position yourself to lie on your front like this, place hands below your shoulders like this, and we're just going to push up and back like so. Alright, so we're going to do this twice for 30 seconds each time. This one, keep your focus, shoulders back, feeling that stretch in your back. So this stretches out your core as well in your front. That's 30. Come down. We'll give it 30 seconds of rest and then we'll go again. Alright, get back in the position. Okay, 3, 2, 1, push up and hold that stretch. Making sure we're breathing throughout as well. Three, 2, 1, back there. Okay. So our next stretch is going to be the quadricep stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our heel up to our bum and grab it with our same hand, and we're just going to pull that heel in towards our bum and hold it for 30 seconds. Okay? Ready? Go. It's best to grab onto something here to give you a bit more balance. I'm going to go 30 seconds each leg. Switch, shake it out a little bit, switch the other leg. Try to keep your posture upright as you do so. Okay, fine. Now what we're going to stretch next is going to be our calves. So what we're going to do is find something to lean towards. We're going to get this far apart, try and keep our heel on the ground, and we just lean in, like so. We're just leaning in, over our toes, pushing our knees over our toes. There we go. Feeling that stretch down the calf. Switch the other leg. stretch, we're going to want to just stretch the chest out. So we're going to want to get next to something solid and place our hand up like so. And we're just going to be stretching it out, pushing your chest forward and keeping our hand against something solid. So 30 seconds, go. On your lean, you feel that chest across your shoulder and across your chest. Switch. This side. Ten more seconds. Okay. The last stretch we're going to do is going to be our triceps. So we're going to have one arm like this, going to reach down the back, our other hand's going to come across and push it down. We're going to feel a nice stretch down here. Okay? So 30 seconds each arm. Go until you feel a stretch, and just hold it there. And 30, shake it off, and switch arms. Three, two, one. So that's going to be it for our workout video today. I really appreciate you following along. You did a great job, and just make sure to go home, drink plenty of water, do some more stretching if you like, and be ready for neck workout. Thanks guys.